just incredible. And can you imagine how, I don't know what the word, ecstatic the people are going to be tomorrow in Amber Cove. They haven't seen one of our ships for 16 months. They are going to be, everybody's going to be just amazed to see all of you, and we're back. Now this isn't good because now you're getting my best view. This around here. Okay. That's better. You've got, no, that's not good for Christine. This is the most exercise. 16 months. Right. Pardon? Stretch. Why is she not here yet? You want me to stretch? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk to you about Amway. This lady is balancing a chocolate drink in one hand and a chocolate drink in the other. Yeah. Oh, you bought your sister a drink? That's very good, okay. She's sipped from yours already. You don't care which one, you're just going to pass it. Is it communion? What are you doing here? Very good. All right, are you all right there? You got it set? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is wonderful to see all of you. Thank you. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to this day for a long time. I have been speaking to, well, pretty much every single one of you. I believe the record so far is 31 cancelled cruises. 31, and that was Keith and his wife. They had 31 cancelled, and they've rebooked, I think, 12 for this year. We also have Doreen and her husband Norman, who have completed the fleet by sailing here. They managed to complete the fleet on this one. We had a gentleman who spoke to me today and said he's on a back-to-back on this ship. His last cruise was on here, on the last cruise before we stopped cruising, and he's on this one, and he thinks that's a back-to-back. So in a way it really is. It really is, isn't it? It's just been awe-inspiring to walk around and to see so many of you smiling and laughing. I have seen many of you handing little boxes of candy and all sorts of things to the crew, and the smiles on their faces have just shown exactly what it means to each and every one of them to have you back. And it's not just the crew members who are smiling from ear to ear, it's a lot of people who are sailing from our mothership. And it is a huge honour for me to introduce a lady who's worked tirelessly. There are two people kissing at the back. Hello? Hello? Is that Mary Beth? Are you kissing? I'm about to introduce the president and you're kissing. You don't? Okay. That's all right, Mary. I was lovely. I haven't seen people kiss on board. It's been 16 months since I've seen anybody kiss. Go ahead. If you want to kiss somebody, go ahead. If you've been vaccinated, you can. Not somebody you don't know, sir. Don't wander around. It's not a buffet. I was interrupted by a kiss. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honour for me to introduce you to a lady who I saw smile from the first second she walked on board, and she has not stopped smiling since. She is the perfect example of what we are, fun. She really does put fun in everything that she does, and if it hadn't been for her and the team that she works with, we wouldn't all be here today. So please, would you show your appreciation and welcome the wonderful Christine Duffy, everybody. Thank you. Hi, Christine.
Hello, John.
It's great to see you.
Well, it's great to see you, but it's really great to see you.
Okay, now, before we get into this, I have got a question which I promised I would ask from somebody on my Facebook page who has donated $250 in Carnival's name to St. Jude today for me to ask you this question. And it just came in last 5 minutes. Would you please tell Christine how much I adore and I love her? Every photo I see of her, she looks like she has spent $1 million on her wardrobe. Could you please find out where she gets her clothes from? If you ask this question, I promise to donate $250 to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And there you are. That is from Catherine Bennett. So, ladies and gentlemen, you came in here hoping for news on the cruise industry, but no, we're going to find out where Christine gets her clothes from. Do you want to answer that?
Well, I don't know if it's $1 million, but my husband Andrew is in the back, and he probably can vouch. It's $1 million. You know, when people ask, you know, you always get these panels and I'm on and they ask, what's your hobbies? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing, but shopping. I love to go shopping. So, well, Kathy Bennett, these shoes are LK Bennett, which is a brand in London. So whenever I go to the UK, I go to the LK Bennett store.
Okay.
Pants from Bloomingdale's Theory, blouse from Banana Republic, jean jacket from Nordstrom Rack last week because Andrew left my white jean jacket in the restaurant and somebody kept it. But anyway, bracelet from St. Thomas on my first Carnival cruise. Anyway.
There you go.
There's my outfit.
I will tell Catherine. Je suis penne. Big
Are they
and
still
tall.
in business?
I don't know. Are they not? Are they not in business anymore?
You know Shaq? Do
Yeah.
you know Shaq is now designing big man's clothes at Penny's, I think. Did you see?
I didn't know
Shaqs?
that, no, but now I'll have to look for his clothing. I bet that's very smart. Well,
Yes.
here we are, 16 months ago, we were sailing and everything in the world was amazing. And now, 16 months later, everything in the world is amazing again. And you've been on lots of press and you did NBC News recently, and we've talked a lot about what's happened. But if I can, as you mentioned Andrew being here, can we just take off the president of Carnival Cruise Line hat and put the wife, mother, and grandmother hat on?
No, I'm CC.
Are you CC?
That's my, yes.
Because
Andrew is Grump Pop.
Grump Pop. Oh. By the way, we're saying Andrew, and you can't see him because he's silhouetted at the back. Is there Andrew? Could you just come and wave at everybody, because I think they need to see.
I think they all know Andrew. Andrew talks to everybody.
Oh, does he? All right. Hey, that's Andrew, everybody. Andrew Duffy at the back there. Thank you. So, obviously, you had a company to look after, but you also had a family to look after as well. So let's just talk a little bit about being a wife and a mum and a grandmother, or CC. How did this all affect your family personally? Because you also have children, and one of them serving, of course, very proudly. So how did you manage everything together?
Well, you know, for Andrew and I will be married 40 years in October. So but I've always traveled for my work. So actually, Andrew was really looking forward to this day, because that means I'm back on the road and I'm not chasing him every day for, what are you doing today? Did you do what, you know? So I am a very organized person with lots of lists that I like to make for Andrew. And we joke because we really did spend hours and hours on the phone, on video calls, on Teams calls, and I mean, literally, Andrew would serve me every meal kind of under the door, you know, without being in the video, and then come and take the empty plates. And so it was it's been intense. But fortunately, our son went into the Army. He's a JAG officer at Fort Bragg, and so he and his wife, they left in March, so just about when everything happened. So at least I knew they were safe, and you know, then she got pregnant just like that. I guess it's a Corona baby they call them, but so we have a 4-week-old granddaughter, and she's adorable, Regan Marie. And our daughter Danielle, she lives in Orlando. She was a Disney Imagineer for 10 years. And she left and went and took a job working for another development company that was building a hotel, and she got laid off. So she started up her own business, and now Disney has hired her back as a consultant. So she is working with Disney again, and believe it or not, she's designing Disney cruise ships.
That's okay. That's okay.
So we don't talk about
We don't,
it.
yeah.
She's very sensitive.
That must be fun around the dinner table.
We don't talk about it, but no, we're very proud of her, and we have a great family. Andrew's the youngest of 7. My sister married his sister's son, so we're all very, very close. And anyway, Andrew's just glad that I'm going to be traveling again.
Yeah, there you go. And chance to shop. Now, we've gone live because I had a bit of an internet problem. We're live to, what have we got? 9,600. So, straight away, that's within 30 seconds because they all want to see you. There we are.
We're on a carnival cruise!
There we are. Now, I'm going to ask this man to film so I don't have to film. Would you mind? And by the way, Christine, would you take a look at his shirt? Just, I really have no words.
Neither do I.
Would you mind? Thanks very much, Neil.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all on Christine.
You know, when you first look at it, you don't see it, but then you see it everywhere.
It's not you, it's me, yes.
And another person asked me if I was him.
Oh, yeah.
I think I look a bit like Andrew.
Yeah, someone asked Andrew yesterday if he was John. So, I guess if you hang around John long enough, everybody starts.
Well, you've seen the joy and the smiles in people here. And I don't want to talk about, and I'm sure there's no need to talk about the past. So we're here and we're back. And Christine, what are your expectations now for the future? When you look ahead, because finally we can, what do you see?
Well, we've got new ships coming, so that was a really exciting. I hope for everyone, I know for all of the team shoreside, and I think shipboard as well, just to see, in spite of everything the company has been through, the strength of our Carnival Cruise Line brand and the transfer of the 3rd Excel ship from our sister brand AIDA coming to Carnival. So in addition to Mardi Gras, which we're just can't wait, I cannot wait for people to see Mardi Gras. I mean, incredible. She is just a beautiful ship. And then of course next year we follow with Celebration. We did the groundbreaking in Miami for the new terminal that is being purpose built. The terminal in Port Canaveral for Mardi Gras is amazing. I don't know if you've seen it. And I know I'm going all over the place here, but it was very emotional for Mardi Gras' arrival in Port Canaveral. She was in Barcelona for months, and I was adamant I did not want Mardi Gras coming and sitting as if she were in a parking garage for months when we really had no certainty around when we could sail. So it was very emotional to have Mardi Gras arrive in Canaveral. We had, I think, close to 2,000 of our carnival fans. I don't know if any of you, yes, that came in the middle of the night. And I was getting ready that morning because we had ABC, Good Morning America covered that. I had the TV on. And here they're filming all of the carnival people in their Mardi Gras t-shirts, and it was very, very amazing. And we said it was momentous not only to have Mardi Gras arrive, but because we knew that Mardi Gras' arrival meant it was really going to happen. We were going to start cruising again. And so July 31st will be exciting for people to see Mardi Gras for the first time. And then we'll follow up. We have next year, we have Celebration, which is for our 15-year birthday. So I know we have our Celebration cruises. So we're going to keep working at that, and then we're going to take Costa Magica. She's going to go through a transformation and come over to the Carnival fleet in time for next summer. So it's a lot of fun. You know, what are we going to do and what are we going to call her? And our team was just in Italy, and the ship is in great shape, and we're excited to have her. And then, of course, the news of a third XL ship coming to Carnival Cruise Line. And we'll be making all those decisions about design and features and restaurants. And you'll see Mardi Gras, I mean, it's going to be very different. It's going to be very different. You know, lots more dining options. Everything's not Lido. The Lido's a lot smaller. So we're going to work very hard to make sure we can orient guests and the crew because there's so much to do and see on that ship. You really do want to plan what your top priorities are, but you'll probably have to come back again and again to get through it all.
Do you all remember your first cruise? Yeah. Do you remember how you came on board, whatever ship it might have been, and you had no idea where anything is?
Yes.
That's how you're going to feel on Mardi Gras, and I include myself in that. How many of you have booked on Mardi Gras?
Woo! All right.
And Celebration?
Okay. It's great.
Wonderful, isn't it? And all of this is happening, of course, and you've got an incredible team that are working so hard, and I know how busy you are. I don't want to keep you too long, but I'm sure you would like to say a few words probably about the people that you've worked with, and without naming them specifically, but we really do have such an incredible team of people for the last 16 months who've just worked continuously to get us back.
Well, I think what's easy to forget, we made a lot of very difficult decisions. I guess by the time we got to June and we knew that this was not just going to be a temporary thing, we did have to lay off a lot of shoreside employees. And that was hard. It's always difficult to make those decisions. The company at that point, we raised, as you know, over $23 billion of capital. We had ships at minimum manning, so for a lot of the deck and engine teams, you know, they were working, and then we had just enough of the team to cook and clean that was required for 100 to 150 crew members on each ship. Everybody else was at home. And so in the US, we're lucky, right? There was a lot of stimulus, there was unemployment, there were programs, but for many of our crew members back home, especially in Asia and India, just the worry for how they were faring and their health and their family. And so many, as you know, of our crew members have worked and been with Carnival for years. So it was tough. Shoreside was tough because we were then, you know, 35% fewer staff. And so that the work that the team that we have has done has just been amazing. And the teamwork between shipboard and shoreside has never been better. The communication, the constant, just the major projects, all of these ships had to be maintained. We have lots of requirements, as you all know, from CDC and Coast Guard, and all of that still had to happen with many fewer people. But we're really blessed to have just an amazing culture at Carnival. People working together across brands as well as within our own brand. Many of you saw Arnold Donald, who was here yesterday, and he's just worked so hard representing, not just Carnival Corporation, but the industry. Mickey is still very much as our chairman involved and very close to everything that we're doing. So we're really, really blessed to have made it through. And when I hope you agree, you see this ship, she looks beautiful. She looks beautiful.
I was trying to think how I could best describe you and what you mean to the crew, and it was really, I was thinking, I was walking down here, I just couldn't figure it out how I was going to say it, and I'm going to be very careful what I say here. Very, very careful. There was a program some years ago where people who were in a high position in a company would go and work as an employee, and I've forgotten the name of it.
Undercover boss.
Undercover boss. And it often puzzled me that how do these bosses go and nobody recognizes them? And I suddenly realized I was walking here, if there is one person who could never be an undercover boss, it's this lady here. Do you know that in her first year as president, she visited every ship from Australia, all over the Caribbean, and wherever the ships were, she went. And again, I'm being very careful. Let me just say, she's definitely the first president we've had that's done that. There is not a single crew member here or at home who doesn't know who Christine is. And that is because when she comes on board, she doesn't just go to the bridge or sit in the captain's cabin. She walks around the ship. She talks to every crew member. She will ask them how they are. Do they need anything? Are they happy? And you know what? You need a rock. You need a foundation. And Carnival Cruise Lines has that foundation in this lady on my left. And I really want to thank her for that on behalf of every single crew member and team member on board. And we all say that from our heart. And maybe you would like to show her another round of applause.
Many of you probably know my story because, Arnold loves to tell my story. I mean, I started as a travel agent and really did work my way up. And so I think I have maybe a unique perspective of how meaningful it is when you're, somebody that is, starting out or, working your way up or doing a job that, for the president of the company to acknowledge it, I think it really does make a difference. And I think we all know that this is a complicated business. I'm convinced that running a cruise line, there's so many technical, we are a floating city. And it requires every single department, every single job matters. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And so the value that every one of our crew members, shipboard and shoreside, doing their part is what makes Carnival successful. And I'm convinced that the reason, or really I've said this before, we have beautiful ships. There's other, cruise lines have, it's amazing when you look at ships. But I still believe firmly that the difference for Carnival and the difference with our guests is this relationship that we all have with our crew. Yes. And maybe some guests don't want that. They like, if you go to a hotel or a resort, you're not hugging your waiter that you had breakfast with when you check out. I think that's what makes cruising unique, but I think especially for Carnival, it is the relationship between the crew and the guests that I think makes for such a special vacation.
You agree?
Yes.
Christine started as a travel agent, and as you know, I started as an aerobics instructor. So, ha 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 ha. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Well, I have a few questions for you.
No!
Great. Didn't they tell you that now then I was going to ask you questions?
Yes.
Andrew,
Right.
what do I do? Is there any way out of this? I mean, Andrew, you've been in this position, right? You've been in a position where something's going to happen.
Just take it.
So John, all of us were so upset when we heard that you were perhaps not going to be able to leave. But I want to hear directly from you because I didn't talk to you directly, but I was getting emails and texts from guests, from Mickey, from Arnold. What are we going to do? I said, oh my gosh, I cannot be on this cruise without John. So tell the story.
So, I never thought my job, and it's 34 years next month, I never thought in my 34 years my job would be sitting at home for 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, speaking to all of you every day. And that's the last 16 months, and we've had, haven't we? We've had peaks and troughs, we may come back, we go, oh, we're not coming back. And then we have to build up again. And seeing that we were coming back and that this was the time to come back was selfishly my reward, right? I mean, outside of the job itself, my reward was being here with Christine, with all of you, with the crew. You know, not being on a ship for 16 months. Christine and I did some FaceTime lives when she visited Mardi Gras and the ship's coming to Galveston and the wonderful reception she gave them there. And after I'd finished those lives, I was smiling and then I pressed the end button. And I honestly was devastated because this company has been my life. I mean, 34 years, you know, and not the thought of not being here. So I got to the airport and I was excited and I downloaded an entire season of The Walking Dead to watch on the plane. And I was ready to sit in row 53 next to the toilets. I didn't care. And then they said, you can't fly. If you'd come yesterday, we would have let you fly. But there's a new rule now. You need an NIE and you need all this stuff. And I picked up the video and for some reason I just did it straight, and I probably shouldn't because it wasn't the most professional thing to do, but I cried. And now normally my videos, you know, they get whatever 1,000 views, but this one has had over 1 million now and it's just a fat man crying, so I don't really understand it. And then I got home and then I did another video to all of you saying, listen, I'm sorry, it's not about me, it's about you, so cruise. And then, as Christine said, messages started to fly on the Thursday. I went to bed Thursday night, I had no idea what was going on. And I woke up on Friday morning and I opened my email and there was a thing that said, you're going, here's your ticket. And I looked at that email. Here is your ticket, and I said, oh, I just unpacked last night and now I'm going to pack again. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world than sharing this with you. We've been through an incredible journey and I just wanted to complete the journey with Christine and all of you. That's it. Can we stop now?
In many ways, I was very purposeful about communication because I think that's really what's most important, especially in times of uncertainty and crisis like we've been in. Just sometimes the consistent face and message, even when we don't have anything new to say, I think people really looked forward to that. And that's the feedback I've gotten from especially our shipboard teams and shoreside as well. And I think, John, you, for our guests, are that person that they know they can count on, even when we didn't have good news. And we did have so many.
Oh, there's so many things I could say about that, but we would. I am simply going to say I am honoured. I'm not worthy. I'm humbled, and whatever all those words are. And I didn't want to miss this because the joy that I'm seeing and that Christina's seeing, it's rejuvenating us, it's rejuvenating the crew, and we're back, and we're back. I will leave the last words with you, Christine, for the guests.
You've heard it before, and I have to say, being on board and talking with the crew and the emotion that they have for being back. And for some of us, I think it feels like sort of we had a nightmare, and now we woke up and, okay, well, this is normal, right? I don't know what we were expecting. We weren't sure what to expect. Would it feel the same? And it feels great. It does feel like we are just back. We're home again, and everybody's together, and everybody's smiling, and everybody's a little bit more grateful, I think. And hopefully that makes us all nicer and more patient, and you know, we've persevered, but we've made it to the other side. And so I'm just really grateful and so very proud of the work that our team have done to sustain the company and to make it possible for us to just pick up where we left off and get back to it. And I'm so excited about what the future holds, because you know, not only the new ships, but all the ships that will yet to come, right? I mean, we've got 22 more ships that are scheduled to restart. We still have a lot of work to do. We're still working with the state of California, with, you know, Alaska. We've got Canada to work through things with. So none of that is over, but this is really a momentous time that we're back and with these first cruises. And I've talked to the team on board Vista. They're having a blast as well, and so it's just, yeah, well, we've got John. People said, how come you're going to Horizon? I said, well, John's there. And they're like, yeah, so you should stay with us. I said, no, I have to be with John. I have to be with John. So
we have to be with you. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for Christine Duffy. Thank you so much. Christine.
Thank you.
Christine Duffy, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew, I got out of it. And you know, Christine, what's happened? What the one thing they're going to take away from all of this? I'll be walking around the ship and people will shout, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Christine, thank you so much, everybody. I know, Calvin, what's next? Bingo. Stay seated for bingo, everybody. Calvin will tell you all about it. Thank you.